Do you know of a stellar leader or an outstanding organization that deserves a proper shout-out? Nominate them for IBJ's awards. From 40 in their 40s and Women of Influence to Nonprofit and Healthcare Excellence Awards, we're celebrating rising stars, seasoned leaders, and organizations making a difference. Discover which programs are accepting nominations now at ibj.com/nominate.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. I'm Aubriana Herron. Mammoth Solar, a large solar farm in Pulaski and Starke counties, is partnering with Purdue University and solar tech firm Nextpower to study how large-scale solar farms can double as productive farmland. The effort aims to examine how agrivoltaics, the dual use of land for solar generation and agriculture, can strengthen rural economies while improving energy reliability amid extreme weather. Ed Baptista is Vice President of Development and Agrivoltaics for Doral Renewables, which developed the Mammoth Solar Farm. He says the initiative is going to address concerns in rural communities of whether large solar installations remove prime farmland from production.
We are going to demonstrate that actually we are going to keep prime farmland under production, both for energy and food production.
The collaboration is part of the Midwest Agrivoltaics for Resilient Communities initiative and is funded through the National Science Foundation's Regional Resilience Innovation Incubator Program. Legislation creating the framework to build a football stadium for the Chicago Bears in Hammond is getting closer to the Indiana governor's desk. On Wednesday, Republican Senator Ryan Mishler of Mishawaka signed off on changes made to Senate Bill 27 in the Indiana House that allows for up to $1 billion in public dollars to go toward construction on a stadium near Wolf Lake in Hammond. The Senate is scheduled to vote on the bill Thursday, according to Mishler's office. The president and CEO of Evansville-based Shoe Carnival has stepped away, the company announced Wednesday. Mark Worden, who had been with Shoe Carnival since 2018, stepped down from his role and resigned from the company's board of directors Tuesday. Shoe Carnival did not immediately provide a reason for Worden's abrupt departure. Inside Indiana Business has reached out for more information, but did not receive a response at deadline. A former CEO, Cliff Sifford, will temporarily take over the position. Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand is made possible by the following.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
The state board that regulates Indiana's utility companies announced Wednesday it will hold an investigative inquiry focused on rising energy rates. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, or IURC, will hold an all-day hearing with the state's 5 largest investor-owned utility companies, which are AES Indiana, CenterPoint Energy Indiana, Duke Energy Indiana, Indiana-Michigan Power Company, and Northern Indiana Public Service Company, or NIPSCO. IURC Chair Andy Zay made the announcement in a press conference, saying the inquiry will examine what the commission can do better and will likely set the stage for policy changes the legislature could take in the 2027 session.
And certainly we want our ratepayers' costs to be as little as possible, but we also want our utilities to be successful. So when we turn the switch, the lights come on. That balance feels dramatically out of whack right now for many, many Hoosiers.
During the inquiry scheduled for March 24th, IURC officials will ask the utilities about billing transparency, the impact of growth on rates, and short-term solutions to rising energy costs. The meeting is open to the public and will be streamed on the IURC's website. The Black Voices Art Show and Reception will debut at Goshen Theater, bringing together regional visual artists, poets, and musicians in a multidisciplinary exhibit designed to highlight creativity without constraint. The event opens Wednesday with a reception featuring live performances. The exhibit will remain on display through the end of March during box office hours and public events at the theater. It is free to the public. The Heartland Handmade Chocolate Trail, a month-long event running through February, invites visitors to travel between 16 shops in Shipshewana and nearby Middlebury, collecting a single piece of handcrafted chocolate at each stop. Sonia Nash, CEO of the LaGrange County Convention and Visitors Bureau, says the trail encourages winter visitors to explore the area.
To celebrate that we are here, even in February. We have some great things to see and do, and it's a perfect time to escape, slow down, and enjoy this community.
Nash says they have sold over 100 boxes of chocolate. The Chocolate Trail event ends February 28th. I'm Abriana Herron for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
From broadcast to podcast, Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick is now available anytime on YouTube or in your podcast feed. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcast or at ibjpodcast.com.
The IBJ Media Podcast Network is the soundtrack of a growing state. Indiana is on the move, and you can hear it happening on the IBJ Media Podcast Network. We bring you the voices at the center of our economy, our courts, our companies, and our communities. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation that's building Indiana's future. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.